Welcome in, everybody, to Fandom NFL. I'm your QB1, Joe Pisapia, and what a treat we have for you today. One of my best friends in the fantasy football streets, and also from the streets of Jersey, from the NFL
Hey,
Network himself, LaQuan Jones joins us. He's the man who does all the research for all the big shows to make all the athletes and other people look really smart. LaQuan, it's good to see you. It's been a couple weeks since we hung out in person again, which is always
yes,
great to hang out, you and me. But it's just good to be talking ball with you, buddy. How's things going over there out in LA for you, my friend?
it's hot. It's August. It's sweaty, sticky hot where you got to jump in 2 showers today. But I'm
Mm.
feeling good, bro. It was really, really good to see you a couple weeks ago, man. It's been a long time coming, trying to get you outside to come on to Canton, Ohio, to finally get you the Georgies,
Oh,
bro.
yeah.
Like it was straight vibes, and it was good to see you, brother, man. But thank you for having me here today.
It's good to see you. You've descended in all white for those of you who are watching on the YouTube channel. He's come down from the heavens and he's going to give you some breakout candidates that maybe you're not paying attention to. I like this. I like this feels like divine fantasy football intervention. I love that. And you're a big wrestling guy. I'm a big wrestling guy. I
Yeah,
appreciate all the kind words and all the help over the last couple of weeks, mentally, emotionally, that you provided. So I just want to say that publicly
hell
on the
yeah.
show. And to quote our good pal Razor Ramon, what is it? Let's see. Hard work pays off, right? What do you say? Dreams
Hard
come
work pays
true.
off, dreams come true. Where are
Bad
you going with
guys
this?
don't last. Bad times don't last, but bad
Yes.
guys do. That's right, baby. So here I
The old
am,
razor.
still,
The thing is,
still kicking
little quick
around.
wrestling fun fact.
Hmm.
Growing up as a kid, I thought he was Cuban. Like I always thought he was really playing that role a little too good, man.
All of my Latin friends to this day are still unsure that he is not Latino. They still,
He
I'm like,
had the
no, he's some white guy with the mustache that he had back in, the early 80s. And like, no, bro, I don't buy that at all. They're
he's
like,
got that flavor. He's got
he
that
just
sauce.
does. He just does. He just does. All right, we got the sauce here on the program today, too. Make sure you subscribe to Fandom NFL. We got some cool giveaways. We got a lot of cool stuff going on. We just gave away the Zay Flowers jersey. That's gone. And when one giveaway goes away,
Ooh,
another, yeah, it's a nice one. And check out this one. We get to 5,000 subs. We already got to 2,000. Now we're going to 5, baby. Let's check it out. Thurman Thomas autographed mini helmet. That's right. So how do you
nice.
win? Like this video, subscribe to the channel, drop your comments below, ring the bell till it goes ding, and somebody's going to win this Hall of Famers autographed mini helmet right there. And of course, it's got the certification of authenticity because, LaQuan, if nothing else, we're authentic here on the program.
Real
That's what I
deal.
always like
Real
to say.
deal. We only
Uh,
keep it real.
and also, shout out to one of our sponsors too on the show, RotoWire. Download the app. If you missed yesterday's draft show from the sixth spot, it was an A plus 100 out of 100 grade. If you want to learn how to draft from the middle of your draft, go watch that right now on the channel and check out the amazing software for your drafts, for all of your preparation for your in-season tools at rotowire.com. Download the app. Use the promo code JoeyP. You get 20% off. I get a piece of the pie. You keep independent creators continuing to go. And LaQuan, we're going to talk about some of the guys today, which I like your names because some of the names are not the ones that are talked about a lot. And I always think that that's fun. So we're just going to jumble them up a little bit and we're going to spit them out here at everybody. First, let's start with a guy that I think you and I both agree on. Let's start with Jaylen Coker for a moment because Jaylen Coker
Yes.
is a wide receiver from the Carolina Panthers that if you were paying close attention a couple years ago, came out of a small school. I know through the draft process, I really liked him and people were kind of joking around with me like, "Why do you like this kid? He's from some." I was like, "I like the way he plays ball. I think he's going to be a
Yes.
good player at the NFL." Last year, obviously limitations, right? Because he missed time with injury, he had 33 receptions, 3 touchdowns for 394. Projections this year have him at 64 receptions, 781, 4 touchdowns. But despite maybe some of the limitations of Bryce Young, I feel like he's kind of a forgotten man in drafts, and it feels like you kind of think the same way.
Absolutely. Like when you look at the back end of the season, right? When you see this guy in the playoff game against my Rams and cooking our entire secondary that they had to go find their talents in Texas with the Dallas Cowboys, where it's like, yo, Jaylen Coker could really go out there and go. And I think he's like one of those underrated wide receiver twos that are going way later in drafts that shouldn't be. Like he's not a household name. A lot of people weren't paying attention on the back end of the season because their teams weren't in the playoffs and their real teams had no shot at the playoffs. So when you're looking at Jaylen Coker, right, and you're watching the tape, like Joey, I like to stand 10 toes down when I get behind guys, pause, but I put it like this. Jaylen Coker reminds me a lot of T. Higgins, like the type of ball he plays, and he's very aggressive when he goes up at the top of the catch. And when you look at the last couple of games, it was really him forming into himself, taking over. That Tetero McMillan was banged up a little bit, not really himself. But when you look at Jaylen Coker in terms of what he was able to assemble, a wide receiver one type of ceiling, a wide receiver one type of production out of a guy that we just talked about was kind of out of the nowheres. Like he was one of the guys that came on the season kind of late because he was, banged up. And then once he really established himself, he, to me, looked like the wide receiver one on the back end of the season for this Panthers offense.
You know what's funny? I don't think of them being physically comparable, but they actually are. While you were talking, I just kind of wanted to double check that. T. Higgins, 6'4", 220. Jaylen Coker, 6'3", 213. That's in the same universe, and I never.
I'm using my eyes, using my eyes there. Yeah,
well, and this is why I love talking, with certain folks in the industry, right? Because I think it's a combination, and you're a researcher for a living, right? You're digging through data all the time. But to me, it's the application of the data. To me, it's always like what you see with your eyes on top of the data that brings you to the conclusion. It can't just be one or the other, because one can lie to you a little bit sometimes. You need both, I think, to make the right decision. So let's talk about where he's going right now, because it feels like you're in a spot where Jaylen Coker is an easy, wide receiver 5?
Five. That's 5 is even crazier. And Joey, seriously, he's been like an auto click. Once I've had the top 4 wide receivers on my roster where I'm just I'm kind of good. I can fade the wide receiver position for a couple of these rounds. I could take off. I can get some of these, tight ends plus insurance if you drafted George Kittle. I can get some of these quarterbacks that I want to take flyers on in these later teens. And when you look at where Jaylen Coker's going, yeah, sure, automatically, yeah. I kind of want that on my team if I have a sketchy wide receiver 3, or if I have a DK Metcalf or a Michael Pittman, right? These guys that go a little bit earlier. So I feel comfortable taking Jaylen Coker wherever I get him, because he's kind of the forgotten man.
Yeah, and I think when you start to look deeper in drafts, you're always looking for guys that can outperform their spot. I always talk about this on the show, especially at wide receiver, right? You want the guys that go from wide receiver 3s to 2s, 4s to 3s. Everyone's heard me say this a million times, but it's just facts. That's how you win leagues, when you have guys that outperform their ADP. And Coker is a 5. Even if you think the limitations of the Carolina Panthers and Bryce Young are legitimate, and I get that. There's definitely some things that hold you back with Bryce Young, right? He's Tua Tagovailoa light, at this point. That's kind of what he is at best. But if he stays healthy and he stays on the field for a whole year, now that Tetero McMillan is there and established, I think that's the other good thing too, because we didn't have that in the first year of Jaylen Coker either. He was just this rookie kind of floating around. So now that we get Jaylen Coker where we're having him, I think is really important. So that's a great name. The next name I want to talk to you about is one that I don't feel like anybody's talking about. So I'm going to turn you loose here on Pat Bryant, because he's 23 years old, Denver Broncos wide receiver. Projections, obviously, I would not say are thrilling. Last year, 31 catches, 1 touchdown, 378. It's basically a copy and paste job year over year. There's so much hype going around Jalen Waddle, which I understand, but I have yet to buy into. There's suppression of Courtland Sutton, which I am buying on the cheap, because I feel like people are dismissing the rapport that's been established between Bo Nix and him. Everyone's chasing the new Jalen Waddle. I'm getting a lot of Courtland Sutton, but you got eyes late for Pat Bryant. So talk to me about the reasons why.
So when I look at Pat Bryant, he's literally your last click in the draft. This is somebody you want rostered, because you know what Sean Payton likes to do with his wide receivers, right? He wants to spread them out. He wants Courtland Sutton running the deep routes. He's one of the best goal route wide receivers out there in the league in terms of, look, he may not create the most separation, but it's not a 50-50 ball when it comes to him. And he will some way find separation, being that he has the football IQ. And when I talk about the football IQ, you best believe Pat Bryant is very, very smart. Very, very smart at the position in terms of understanding he needs to block to stay on the field. He understands that, hey, I need to go into anticipation routes where I can get open for my quarterback. And we know we love Bo Nix, meaning that he loves to move left and right. He's sideline to sideline. He's moving in and out of the pocket, creating these plays. And somebody like Pat Bryant, that star in the eye. Sean Payton just loves and gushes to talk about Pat Bryant, where you start seeing and hearing some of these familiarities of Michael Thomas in terms of being able to get those quick slants, right? Just having that football IQ of where to be on the field. And I know last season, coming in as a prospect, he had the good privilege to come on Good Morning Football, and in interviews, they were basically asking him, who are you watching? Basically saying, who do you think you are? right? And you love to hear some of these prospects like talk about who they look up to, but he went straight for the juggler. He's watching Jamar Chase. He's watching Justin Jefferson. I like when my wide receivers talk like this in an offense that obviously has the coaching staff behind them to put them in the best situation possible. Like Pat Bryant to me could be one of those guys like, yo, are the Broncos really having Pat Bryant getting more opportunities than a Troy Franklin, Marvin Mims? Absolutely. Is Pat Bryant actually a thorn in the side for Cortland Sutton? Hey, it could be possible because you remember that middle of the season run with Troy Franklin where the explosive plays just kept happening. And it's just like, you can't stop a guy. And Sean Payton, straight out of his mouth, yesterday's interview was like, I don't know how we're going to keep him off the field.
That's interesting to me. And if they are going to have a lot of 3 wide receiver sets, I would certainly be excited to see him take part of that. It's not a big tight end situation. We already have J.K. Dobbins a little concerned. And it's funny because the other conversation I think wrapped around this is going back to the late quarterback situation about Bo Nix being one of these guys that I'm very happy taking because I look at all of his projections everywhere and they're basically copy and paste to last year, which is like a 300-point season. And I'm like, yeah, and it's free. And I'm going to take it. Yeah. I know it's not pretty all the time. But it was a sophomore season.
You got to hold your breath. It's the fourth quarter, and you just got
to don't
let it ride. Yeah, don't just click at the very last, and then Bo will put up like 10 points, and you're good.
Go outside, play with your kids.
Like go do something else. Go grocery shopping.
Dinner. Well, it's usually West Coast games, right, in Denver. So you go to dinner with the family, or sit down the Sunday dinner, right, and then you go check and say, oh look, Bo Nix got me 25 points. Oh good.
Awesome.
Don't watch how it happened because that might be problematic. So. I understand making, especially in deeper leagues, the Bryant selection, and I also understand the upside that he carries in the deeper leagues. But I do, my concern with him is obviously, even if there are 3 wide receiver sets where is it, volume is king, and in the pecking order, he's just so far below. If there was an injury, I can understand this being a guy that people are running to waiver wires to get. However, what you're, I think, kind of throwing out there in those, 14-team leagues and some of those deeper spots.
I'm in way too many leagues. Yes,
so
yes. Yeah. The 14-team leagues are stacking.
Bryant is one of these guys that you might save yourself a little fab just by stashing him potentially.
Absolutely.
Would you stash him if you already had a Cortland Sutton, just out of curiosity?
No, I don't like doing same team wide receiver 2s and 3s. I think that gets nasty because like that's like a spot that could have been, picked up for somebody else, maybe a handcuff, maybe a wide receiver that may step into wide receiver 2 opportunities, like how we're seeing Jaylen Coker from last year to this year. You know what I mean? Like some of those guys live down there. Hey, you even got Rashad Bateman living down there in those outside the top 200 picks, which is literally free money. I should have texted you him. Like I should have put him on this list as well, but we'll say that for another time because I'm definitely coming back, Joey.
Oh, well, I mean, I didn't know that was an option that you weren't. So
it wasn't an invite. It was just me bullying my way into your house. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, it was not the first time you've done that. So
I'm going straight to the fridge. You know what I'm doing.
I'm so proud of you and what you've been able to accomplish the last couple of years. My sadness is that you're not in Jersey. We can't go to dinner anymore like we used to. That's the problem. Because LaQuan and I can eat. We go out there, and these 2 guys can eat. All right, so just putting that out there. All right, as we continue on with some of these lists of some of these potential breakouts, and I like that some of them are some deeper names too that we're going to debate a little bit here too. Don't forget also Fantasy Black Book still on Amazon available. I just updated the cheat sheets. Go check it out right now. The digital cheat sheets get updated, $5 on Venmo or PayPal at Fantasy Black Book. That'll get them to you. I just did the big 1st August update. I was a little behind, launching a YouTube channel and all that good stuff. So just finished that. But again, there's still plenty of time to get your Black Book. Get prepared. It's only the middle of August right now. We still got some time before all the drafts pop up. And we get to 2,500. Oh, what you got? Oh, is that a 2023 version?
23, nostalgic.
That's nostalgic right there. Look how far I've come. Look at all this. Now we got Josh Allen on the cover. He signed a big deal to be on the cover. So that's really exciting.
It's really good that I still have the ability to just grab it. You know what I mean? Like I got to get this year's book, brother. I got to get this year's book.
Nah, I send you on that, guys, because we're friends.
Awesome.
As if you need. Is that what you want to do in your spare time? More data and more.
Oh man, listen, it's all good, man. The more you can learn.
All right, let's get to some of the running backs here, and this is really where we're going to make some money here. First guy is a guy that I'm very much in on, so we're going to definitely agree on this one. It's Rico Dowdle. Rico Dowdle last year kind of showed you that he's still capable of being the back. He had some, I would say, eye-opening performances last year. Now he's moved on to the Pittsburgh Steelers with his old ball coach. Last year, 236 attempts, 1076 on the ground, 297 through the air, 6 touchdowns rushing, 1 receiving. This year, the projections have him under 200 attempts, which I don't see how that's going to happen in that offense in Pittsburgh. Under 870-ish yards, basically, 4 touchdowns. To me, this is about what you're buying in on. And I do think that there's something when you bring in another coach that they start to bring in their quote-unquote guys. I'm getting tired of waiting for Jaylen Warren to break out. He has been the fantasy darling for a couple years. He's still never hit 1,000 yards. I think he's a nice player, but I don't think he is a one. I still am frustrated with his performance and the expectation of him in that role. And it seems like in drafts, I'm pivoting to Rico Dowdle, and it looks like, obviously, from this conversation, you're vibing with that concept.
Absolutely. And it's the prior relationship that you mentioned with Mike McCarthy. Like, he didn't want him to leave Dallas. Like, that was a thing. Like, he did not want him to go anywhere else. And we obviously see wherever Rico goes, he's putting up 1,000. So it's like, I think here in this Steelers situation, you have to really buy into this offense, right? Are they going to be in striking distance more often than not? Maybe. Are they more equipped than what they were last year in terms of weapons on this offense? Absolutely. A different play caller, different scheme, different history, et cetera, et cetera. I think Jaylen Warren, his ADP so close to Rico Dowdle kind of indicates and tells you, like, hey, I'm probably going to go with Rico Dowdle based on previously what we've seen evidence of. He can have those big boy games. Those games where we're just like, yo, we might have to reevaluate. Like, yo, is he a one? Like, can he be this guy of a workhorse type backfield where, again, you look at his ability in the passing game last year, very underrated. It's like, yo, this guy can catch the ball. This guy can run in between the tackles, bounce outside. And that sounds a lot like Kenneth Gainwell last year, who was out of nowhere, just picked up off the waiver wire. And this guy's putting up, if not the same amount as fantasy points as Jaylen Warren, which has to be frustrating, but having the same high value opportunities as Jaylen Warren, all the third downs, all the red zone, all the like striking distance opportunities, Kenneth Gainwell fit that role. And then when you look at Rico, this guy's walking in with some moxie to him. He's walking in like, yo, this is my backfield. Sorry, bro. This is my homie. He's going to give me the ball over 200 times, and that's just on the ground. Let's not even talk about targets out of this backfield. So I think the biggest fear for me is like, if you go out there this year drinking the Kool-Aid that it's Jaylen Warren season again, you are going to be very, very upset that your roster is going to be looking at like you're going to be limping. Like, it's going to be one of those things like, damn, this is a misstep. This is a pick that I could have avoided. And now here we are. It's week 6 and Rico Dowdle is going off.
It's like you're going for the cherry Kool-Aid and you realize it's strawberry and it's gross. You don't want that.
Joey.
I'm just saying.
You know I have a new love for strawberries now, man. Come
yes,
on.
you do. I love how you're opening your horizons and your.
I am a new man. It changed my life. I mean, again.
I was never a big guy into berries, and then I've started in the last year eating strawberries myself, and I even have started with the blueberries a little bit.
Oh, so, look at you.
Look at
you. That's
great. Because you get old and you got to start eating things that are better for you.
Exactly.
So you can wake up in the morning. I want to go back to the limitations of the Pittsburgh Steelers offense, if I may, for a moment. And I think there's many of them. It's the age of the quarterback. It's the potential durability of the quarterback at this stage in his career. It's, can he play a full season of games, which I have massive questions about. And when you go and you start to have to pivot to one of these other quarterbacks, whoever they decide at the end of the day, if it's Howard, if it's Drew Aller, God forbid, whatever it might be, you got to run the hell out of the football. Like, that's going to be what they have to become. You're also talking about Pittsburgh, where it starts to get colder in November and December, and you're going to have a different style of football too. It's not Carolina anymore. And that's why we talk about the Rico Dowdle games last year. They were good. They weren't just good. They were like all world. 23 for 206. 30. Historical. 30. Who carries the ball 30 times in a game now? What is this? Is this Thurman Thomas? Is this like 1993? 30 carries for 183. He had a game last year, 25 for 130. I mean, he's just putting it on and on. And if you had picked him up during that
one workload, bro.
It is. And I think he might just be one of these guys where it took him a couple of years to understand what that is and what it goes into the preparation to be that guy. But it was eye-opening last year. And I think even Mike McCarthy, for a head coach, obviously at this point, he's going to have a say in the personnel. He's a new head coach. To me, that's always eye-opening. Follow the money, Follow the relationships. It's football. People want to play and coach with guys that they're comfortable with. That's just the end of the day.
And the thing is about Rico, you hit the nail on the head. The dude's very smart at the position. Like, he's learned so much. And if you go back to last year, it was one of those sideline mic'd ups and where he's talking about one of the plays, and he's like, "Look, just give me the ball. They're doing this, they're sliding left," like whatever he was describing in their football language. Like, he was very involved in the run game and wanting to call the plays at some point. And that's why he has a little attitude towards the Panthers, like that's why he was ripping them on, Twitter with free agency and stuff like that, because it's like, bro, I knew what I was talking about. I knew what I was doing. I showed I can do the job, but hey, you paid a guy that got banged up.
Yeah, well, they paid
not the first time,
up, but they also, I guess, had the expectations that Brooks would eventually come back, and nobody wants to spend on running back. Like that's what we're.
But Rico went beyond expectations. I know he caught them by surprise, and he took that as disrespect.
And his yards after contact have gone up every last 3 years too.
Yeah,
from 2.6, 2.9 to 3. So like they're starting to tick up there. So he's
stacking some good seasons.
And it almost reminds me a little of like some of those. Like Aaron Jones was like this too. He kind of came on a little slow at first, and then just established himself, and then he was like
Ascended.
a solid guy. Now on the flip side of that Aaron Jones conversation comes the next guy we're going to talk about. Is Jordan Mason. What a segue. I should do this for a living.
You're good.
Jordan Mason last year 159 for the Minnesota Vikings, 758 yards on the ground, 6 touchdowns. This year, the projections, again, just kind of same old, because 889, 177 attempts, 6 touchdowns. I think the problem is everybody sees this the same. To me, this is always the big, giant red flag on stuff in fantasy ADP every year. When you see 2 guys on the same team at the same position going back to back, that's because everyone's throwing their hands up and goes, I have no idea. I remember a couple years ago, when Evans and Godwin's a couple years ago were back-to-back ADP.
Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods.
Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods. People are like, I don't know how it's going to go. We know how the Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods one went.
Both of them meet.
But even, I think it was Bucky Irving, Rashad White a couple years ago, too, where it's no one's quite sure.
It was it Leonard Fournette and Rashad White? It was
Leonard Fournette. You're right.
When he was on his way out, You're
right. Yeah. That's who it was. And now we're in that same situation with Minnesota, with Aaron Jones and with Jordan Mason. So why is Mason the easy pivot point for you, as opposed to just ignoring Minnesota altogether and just going with a Brooks who's in that similar ADP or somebody else?
Mason's on the contract year. They saw out to bring that man in because they saw his work in San Francisco. Obviously, him able to pick the ball up and able to carry or even pick up Thor's hammer and CMC to keep the production and going with the run game. This dude can really play football. And when you got KOC on the sticks in terms of the scheme, all they do is run outside zone. That's where his bread and butter is. Like, we're talking like abnormal numbers for a guy on very limited touches that he can literally have that ceiling as an RB1. But where he's going in drafts, you mentioned Brooks. I feel like that's kind of a toss-up. I really feel like with the addition of Kyler Murray being that now he's the starter, we can kind of breathe on that, right? Like, it's all right, cool. The obvious is out of the way. But I think with much better quarterback play, this puts them more in opportunities to have for Jordan Mason. He had 6 touchdowns last year with a dysfunctional offense that had Carson Wentz at some point as the starter. Like, folks, we got to remember how bad this was.
Fairness, it was more functional with Carson Wentz than it was with JJ McCarthy.
It was still bad, Joey.
I know,
it was bad.
But it
Justin
was more
Jefferson
than with JJ McCarthy.
Look, functional maybe, but it was still bad, bro. Like, it was one of the things where it's like, yo, Carson Wentz in here is fighting for his life, which eventually got him injured. So it's like, bro, the offense was just poo-poo. Like, when I look at Jordan Mason, I look at Justin Jefferson, when I look at TJ Hawkinson, right, I have no questions about them because their ADPs, I feel like Justin Jefferson in the middle of the draft to me still looks weird. In a regular 12 team, no type of premiums or super flex, Justin Jefferson going past the first 5 picks to me still looks weird. Even with Kyler Murray there, I will debate that, hey, if it's not Amon-Ra at 5, it better be Justin Jefferson. Put it like that.
I am with you.
There you go. So I think Jordan Mason's in a favorable matchup. I mean, a favorable situation where he's on a contract year. They have to see what they have in him. Aaron Jones has been to my job twice in, talent boot camp where he's obviously looking at life after football. Like, this isn't like a season that I feel like Aaron Jones is going to be the thorn side. I think this is going to be the season where he's teaching up the rookie and Damon Claiborne. So I think that's where that type of teaching, because they have similar play styles. I wouldn't say they're the same type of back, very different in terms of what they can contribute to a backfield. But I think at the end of the day, this is end all be all. Show me what you got this year for Jordan Mason. And I think KOC is in love with this guy's type of work and mentality, how he runs the rock.
Yeah, I actually had a lot of Jordan Mason shares because the year when I was screaming to the hilltops about fading Christian McCaffrey because of the 417 touches, and I was like, this is not good, everybody. Like, this is not going to be good. And I just like best ball shares and even a couple, I had him in Flex League, Expert League that year too. I had drafted him because I was like, I just have a feeling where this is going. And it turned out to be right. And he showed a lot in that audition at San Fran 2 years ago. And I have to agree with you this year. If I have to choose between one of them, I would rather have Mason. I'd rather have the younger guy at this point. It's a young man's position, so I'm with you on that. If you're listening here on the YouTube, remember, you can also listen on the go to Fandom NFL, wherever you get your podcast, because we're everywhere right now. That's right. We're on the Spotify. We're on the iHeartRadio, the Amazon. We're everywhere. So go check it out, Apple Podcasts. So Fandom NFL is going to be there for you on the go. You're walking the dog. You're out there at the gym on the treadmill where you should be, right? Or if you're just sitting by the pool right now and reading your black book, do all that. Let's talk about one more running back here I want to get your take on, because this one's the one you got to sell me. Like, Bryant is cool story, bro. This one I don't know about. So Jaden Blue, now I'm a Javonte guy. I was a Javonte guy last year too, and it worked out. To me, you don't screw with a streak. To me, it's like things are working. I know he's 22 years old. I get it. But when you have an offense that's clicking right that with a veteran quarterback, you leave everything alone. You don't work in these other guys. So is your fascination with Jaden Blue based off of the upside should he get the opportunity in the Dallas Cowboys offense if something happens to Javonte? Like, are we talking like handcuff love here, which sometimes you got to pay double for? Or are we talking about Jaden Blue here as somebody who could even potentially overtake Javonte Williams? Where are we at here, LaQuan?
This is more so of Dallas going back to, you remember when Zeke and Rico were there, right? Like there was a Brian Schottenham. You hated that, but Zeke was on the wash. I think Javonte Williams might be on the wash. I think
they're coming for you. I hear out there in LA, I hear the sirens coming. I don't like it.
Because a fire take is coming, baby. You see the flame on the mic. It's coming.
By the fire station, which I love. Every time we do a show, the fire station that's what it is.
Fire content only, baby. It's like, yo, I text the dude like, yo, my boy Bryant,
the microphone.
Come on, throw the fire truck on, throw the sirens on. But listen, I'm gonna tell you this, just from what I'm hearing out of camp, just from having, friends that are, let's say, involved in the Cowboys, and they just been saying nothing but great things about Jaden Blue this offseason. Okay. I think, honestly, that RB2 role could be his, but he cannot fumble his way out of that. And I mean that seriously. And also health, because he was banged up last year. But you could see the flashes. I personally was there in Oxnard when they had the joint practice with Rams and Cowboys. He was lighting it up. One of the most electric backs that you've seen on the field there, and that's with Blake Corum on the other side. So I'm looking at opportunity. I'm looking at Javonte Williams on the back end of the season, what he contribute to. It was very, very hard to start him in those final 7 games. And when we talk about value, I don't see the value in Javonte Williams this year to where you're not paying for the comeback story price anymore. You're right. Paying for this guy is going up there around where Travis Achan is going. He's going off the board around maybe several picks after Breece Hall and Kyron Williams. This sounds crazy to me because when you look at when the back end of the season, like week 8, I would say it. Just look at the numbers. Only 3 touchdowns in that stretch. And he was one of the worst metrically running backs when it came to catching the ball last season. That's one of the things that Jaden Blue has on top of Javonte Williams. So I'm looking at more of this to be a handcuff situation, more of a situation where if you're a Javonte Williams manager, you're not going to be very happy on how this backfield may be looking. But hey, I'm just saying, don't be surprised if Jaden Blue comes out of nowhere and you're starting to look at a backfield that looks like Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren, or starting looking at a backfield where, again, you're making that squinting face. Zeke and Rico, like those were the times where they were running a functional run game where Shoddy was on the sticks. So you got to have it to where, like, hey, I have this young player that's hungry, electric, having a strong camp. There's been a lot of great things said about Jaden Blue coming out of camp so far.
That whole area of running back, by the way, you're 100% right about Javonte. Last year it was free. So last year there was
Free.
every reason
It
to
was
be in.
in the
It was free
team.
99.
Oh my god, I had him on so many rosters.
Mhm.
That's why I know the pain of how hard it was to put him in my flex to where guys are banged up. I'm dropping like flies at this point, right? And I'm like, I gotta rely on Javonte because of that 6 to 7 game start of the season where touchdown after touchdown after touchdown. And
Well, that defense was so bad too. They were in all these games where they just had
that
to
too,
throw
the
so much in
defense is going to
second
be
half.
way better just based on the joint
It is.
practices this week
Oh,
with the
100%
Rams.
better. 100% better.
Whew.
And I like that they extended Williams and did all this stuff. They're like, this is smart.
Yeah.
All the stuff they're doing is smart. I would say that area of running back, I'm out on right now. So after
Yeah.
Kyron, it's Jeremiah Love, which I don't trust Nathaniel Hackett at all. I just did a fun show with the lineup guys. That show's going to drop on a collab. And I went on my Nepo baby Nathaniel Hackett rant about how he's gonna ruin Jeremiah Love for us this year. You're gonna hate life. I'm telling you right now, it's coming. Winter is coming. You're gonna hate Jeremiah Love this year. I love the player. I love the talent. I hate the situation he's in. He's got 2 other veteran running backs, not 1 but 2. Still, as of recording,
1 paid and 1 reconstructed just to stick around.
Oh God! And Nathaniel Hackett, who doesn't know what to do with anything that you give him. He's completely inept. And then you've got after that Javonte Williams I'm okay with him, but I don't love the ADP because of all the other wide receivers going there. You got Breece Hall. I don't love the Jets offense. Josh Jacobs, I'm terrified. It's only till you get to Cam Scatterbo where I'm like, okay, yay, running back. Like I'm starting on David Montgomery, and I'm getting more excited about pivoting. To me, it's like if you don't get that running back in round 2-ish, right, your hero guy, just wait.
Yeah.
You know,
Just
because
wait.
you're going to miss the Zay Flowers. You're going to miss out on all those like Chris Olaves, like all those like 1A wide receivers. You're going to miss that run and you're going to be pissed off that you did. I want to end on a happier note than split Cowboys backfields because that's going to depress me for the rest of the night. Talk to me because you're Mr. Ram. You're out there in LA. You know, you're out there in the streets. You're talking to the people.
Man.
What's going on with the Puka Nacua situation here? Are we going to miss him for a game? Are we going to miss him for more? What's going to happen? What do you think?
The groin injury, they said it's a couple days, and I don't think it's anything too serious. And again, it's one of the things that, you know, you hold your breath for, you kind of brace, you kind of know that he has this injury history, and you know he's a tough player. You know it's a contract year for him. So, like, I know he's going to thug it out. You know what I mean? Like, that's already a given, like, contract year or not. It's more so like now if you have a draft this week, and of course this feels a little yucky, like, man, I got to take this boy off the board, and he just suffered an injury this week. You know, I could see why you might go chase there at 103, but I still think Puka's a top 5 pick. Like, this injury is not going to stop me or change my outlook of how I feel about him. I still think he's going to go out there week 1 in Australia and put on a hell of a performance against those whiners.
So
like,
do you think he plays in that game, or do you think he has some kind of league suspension? Because there's been rumblings.
There's been rumblings,
and you would know better than me where you were.
There's been rumblings. I think that we got cleared from Rice today that he won't suffer any more suspension. We're holding our breath for Josh Jacobs. We're holding our breath for Puka. And I think that these next 3 weeks is one of those things like, hey, if he suffers suspension, I can't see it more than a game or 2, or if anything happens, you know, because, like, again, he's gone through the PR, right? He's gone through the rehab. He's gone to link up with old friends with Cooper Kupp, and we're training here, we're training there. You know, he's showing positive face right now. So I think for the masses, right? Like, we don't know anything, but it kind of looks like, hey, maybe let's just let him go.
All right. Well, always happy to see your positive face here. And of course, as you're looking for all the ADP and where some of these players are going, check out the consensus ADP at RotoWire. Download the app, sync your leagues for free. Don't be a tool. Use the tools over at RotoWire and use that promo code JoeyP. You get 20% off and you help support the channel. Joey P. That's easy to remember. And LaQuan, it's always great to talk to you, man. I'm going to force you to come back on the show sooner than later. And
absolutely, man.
That's all there is to it. So if you're enjoying this, make sure you subscribe to Fandom NFL. Drop your comments below. You could win some cool stuff. We're trying to get to 5,000 subscribers. We could do it with your help. And again, shout out to everybody. We got the opportunity to become partner status on YouTube in about, 17 days, I think it took. That is stunning. That is incredible. And it's because of all the people out there who were looking for me and found me out there.
We love you, Joey. I love
the people. So I want to thank everybody for supporting the channel. And I know a lot of people are still discovering it. Share it everywhere. Share it all around. This is a channel built on the joy of football And if you love football, you're going to love Fandom NFL. That's going to do it for us, but the story of the game goes on. For LaQuan Jones, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, everybody. This has been Fandom NFL.